Hello and welcome to the Salt City Gamescast. My name is Nick Naylor. This is episode 161. Jared on sitting across from me.
Salt City Raincast.
It's, dude.
Yeah.
We went all summer. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just, and when we say nothing, we're saying like none.
Yeah.
Usually July you get some thunderstorms, and I was kind of bummed out, and they hadn't happened, and we're getting it now, and it's coming down.
We're getting too much.
It just waited for you to buy a house that was I'm not going to say it's in a flood zone, but it's in a zone that can flood.
It shouldn't be a flood zone. But the last little bit, it absolutely has been a flood zone. To like 3 streets over from me, house is flooded. And the reason why was this particular neighborhood is in front of a canal that runs by I-15 or I-215, I should say. And there was not proper drainage for this canal. And then we got like the second most recorded rain in one day in the history of Utah. In one fucking day. Yep. And unfortunately, like a whole neighborhood flooded. And it was really scary because it was very close to my house. I'm very close to the Jordan River. And that day I had to go to the grocery store. And, there's a park, a big park, and then the Jordan River, and then my neighborhood. So like,
fuck the park.
I drove. Well, yeah, the park's big, so it would take a while for that to flood before it got to my house. But, I drove over the Jordan River that day, and it was like so full, and I was like, "This thing is gonna flood too, and this is gonna be a problem." So, thankfully, that didn't happen. But then we were gonna record last weekend. And we had another severe rainstorm, not as much as the one previous, but still a lot of fucking rain.
And you don't know what to expect. You don't know if it would have gotten worse. So it was like 7. A little before that, you were just like,
yeah,
we got a problem.
Yeah, I was just like freaking out about it. Not like, to be fair, like, what am I gonna do? Am I just gonna like lay out in the road and like block the rain?
That's what my wife said. She's like, so what's his course of action?
Yeah, like, but also it's like, my thought process was like, I don't want to leave my dogs here. Yeah. And then like, there was also thunder and lightning, and one of my dogs was just like not fucking okay, and I just felt really bad, and I was also a little anxious. So apologies for doing that, but we're here now.
It worked out. Yeah, I got to get a little further in some games, so it works. So we're doing a midweek recording, which is a little tough because I'm fucking tired. But I had some coffee, which might be playing with fire for later tonight, but we'll just see how that goes. So I don't know. I think we talked about it on the last show, an amaretto sour. At that point, I had not had it. We're having them today.
Yeah.
Well, where do you fall on that thing?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like it. I like it quite a bit. I like amaretto a lot, though. So I don't know if medium amaretto people will come around.
Well, I mean, medium amaretto people. Yes, sure.
There's probably some neutral amaretto neutrals.
Yeah. I think I kind of nailed it the last time we were talking about it. It just is like a whiskey sour, but it's just a little bit sweeter.
Yep.
You know? So I like that. I would rather have a whiskey sour over the amaretto, but this is not bad.
One of the hard things about some of the cocktails, like for me, like whiskey sour, old fashions, and then I do all these other things, and then you're like, yeah, that's pretty good. Not as good as the 2 cocktails I like the most in my life. I feel like the guy that just drinks Bud Light forever. It's just like, yeah, that's still kind of better. Although I will say that I will actually crave this one because I do like amaretto. So
I've had a funny story, just to go off a tangent here. I was at a bar yesterday waiting for a flight, and I got in there, and I like this specific beer. I always go to this place. And so I order this beer. And
is that the dumb man beer or something?
Man beer, for sure. Boll & Bush man beer out of Denver, Colorado. Cherry Creek specifically. But so I order one, and the guy brings it to me, and I'm like, thanks, man. And I've got a really long layover, so I'm just waiting. And so I finish that beer, have some food, and then I'm like, I want another one. And he goes over, and it's tapped. It's completely tapped.
Oh no.
And he's like, let me call downstairs. Like somebody's down there. So we'll just like hook up another tap and it'll work. And I was like, okay. And I waited and then they did that and it still didn't work. There was like some sort of issue with the line. And so he's like, yeah, we can't give you more of that, man. Do you want something else? And I was like, yeah, like I'll take another IPA, whatever you have. And he's like, okay. He goes over there and it's not working. None of them are working. So he's just like, let me just like test all of them. And like all of the craft brews were down. So he's like, I can't give you anything else. And I was like, well, what are my
shock top?
No, I was like, what are my options? And he's like, I've got Blue Moon. And I was like,
fine.
okay. So he gave me a fucking Blue Moon. He was like, I've got Blue Moon or I've got Bud Light in cans. And I was like, I'm going to go with the Blue Moon.
I've never been like mad about having a Blue Moon. I've never been like, I'd like to sit down to a whole offering of Blue Moon or anything like that. But.
Yeah. And then I had a really long layover. So I drank that Blue Moon and then he was like, what do you want? You want another? And I was like, what are my choices? And he was like, yeah, I guess you don't really have any choices. And I was like, yeah, give me another fucking moon. So that was
could have done
funny.
cocktail, right? Or
yeah, I could have, but
you gotta decide to make that jump.
You gotta make that jump, and I don't want to get barred from. I can handle my beer,
sure,
but I don't want to be like stumbling around the busiest airport in the United States, like slightly drunk, where they're like, I don't think this guy should fly. So,
you know, speaking of that, you're talking about the Denver airport, which sucks shit, and we've talked about it on this show.
Yeah,
we're going to Boulder for my niece's graduation in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
We, I have a newborn. They'll be just under a year old at the time.
Yeah.
We are opting to drive rather than fly to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take all the shit. This is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just take a bag like with the kid, with the baby. You got to bring all
a
stroller
and
through the airport, and then you got to rent a car, 2 car seats.
Yeah,
that you gotta like work. Either bring your own. You're probably bringing your own because we never really trust like renting them.
Yeah, you got to ride the tram to the rental car place, which sucks.
So we're doing the math, and we're like, yes, it is longer to drive, but it's not. I don't think it's insane. I don't think it's an insane proposition to drive instead of fly when I have to haul kids through an airport.
That was probably like 9 hours, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, because to Denver, it's like 8.5 to drive from here. So you're probably looking at 9.
And I still got to drive to Boulder. That's the thing. So even when I get to Denver,
right. So it's like 8.5 to Boulder or to Denver. So maybe 9.5. It's like probably an hour and some change to Boulder from Denver.
We'll see. We'll see if I regret it, but we are just like, we would rather just load up our car and then have more stuff than we'd be able to take on a plane. So
yeah, I see young families do that shit all the time in airports, and like, they're never happy. They're never happy. No. They're always stressed. They're always like bummed, and I'm always annoyed. Like, get the fuck out of the way.
It's a fucking nightmare.
My least favorite thing is where you have a couple that is like in front of you, which like I understand to a certain extent, but like they board before you because they have kids. So, and like, but I'm usually like group one, because of my status. And so I'm getting on pretty early. Right. And sometimes the parents will have like their stroller and all their shit. And like, obviously you can't put that in the overhead.
Yep.
So you got to check that shit. And sometimes the courteous parents, they move the fuck out of the way. Right. And then they deal with like the gate people that are checking to put the shit underneath the plane. But other people, they'll have like the mom stand off the side, and then the dad stands in the way, and it's just like, get the fuck out of the way. Like you're not gonna. This is making everyone else's lives inconvenient just so you can be like, I stayed in the line and like. Stopped everyone.
You know the exact type of dad that would do it.
Yeah. It's like, get the fuck out of the way. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for that. It's fucking bullshit. Yep. Get out of the way.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not my fault that you squirted out a kid. You know what I mean? Like that's your choice. Live with it and get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
I sound like an old, like 70-year-old curmudgeon, but I'm sorry.
Listen, well, you fly a lot, so you're obviously gonna starting to see a lot of things. You're just like, this is grinding my gears.
Yep.
I don't like this
There's
one
a lot
bit.
of gear grinding.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Okay. Video games?
Yeah, let's talk
There's
about problems in the gaming industry.
Oh yeah. Before we well, Microsoft is just they're just trying to get by, Jared. They're trying to make an honest dollar so they can put every honest dollar into AI. So what they've done. And I think I briefly mentioned one of them, either the Game Pass increase or the console increase on the last show, but I don't think we dove into it because I think one of them had just barely been announced. But
I think Game Pass we haven't talked about.
Either way, Game Pass has gone up. So it's I feel like it's safe to say it's no longer the best deal in gaming. I think it's $30 for the ultimate.
Yeah. It's like 300 and something dollars a year.
It's no longer it, right?
Nope.
It just isn't. It was it when you were saying, well, it's $120 as long as like 2.5 games, and you're like, well, this makes sense. And then it made sense to people that are not us, the normies out there that are playing just a few handful of games. It really was like, hey, this is awesome for you. Right. And now it's kind of like, I mean, you could probably still make the argument that it's worth it for us, but I haven't had a continuous subscription for quite some time. It'll be worth it to me to maybe.
No.
So not even, it's too much, huh?
No, it doesn't make any sense. The problem is they're not putting out enough first party titles to make it make sense, right?
Like, say the next Plague Tale comes out, it's just not going to be, I might as well just buy the game.
That's where you're at, right? It's like now you are in a position where, and especially because Microsoft is, for lack of a better term, like folded themselves into, being on every platform. Mm-hmm. You have the ability to buy a Microsoft game anywhere now, basically. So really, the games that you want to play, just buy them and then you own them. I mean, in air quotes, and it's just a better value proposition now. I mean, if they were really pumping out a lot of good titles on a regular basis, if they were more healthy, then sure. But we're talking about what do we have coming down the pipeline in the next little bit? We've got the Outer Worlds 2, which I absolutely am going to play.
Sure.
But I'm not going to buy it, or I'm not going to subscribe to Game Pass to get that. I'm just going to buy that game. Because it's in the long run, you're probably going to save money, right? And that is a problem when you are talking about a subscription service.
And they went the wrong way. They went too far.
Well, they went too far, and then also it's like the things that they're trying to like bake into the service that are like value adds are absolutely not a value add to me. It's like you can play a bunch of old Ubisoft games, and it's like great, and like. A subscription service for Fortnite. Like none of that matters to me.
The metrics on that shit, they can't see any sort of serious play, right? Like most of Game Pass, they've got to be such a low amount that people play. I would be interested to see some of that shit.
Right.
Like outside the heavy hitters where it's just like 5 dudes playing this game this month.
Well, yeah. And then there's also the problem with non Microsoft produced games. There's just not enough. If they yes, Silksong is a great ad, and I think that's a great one to be like, hey, we've got Silksong day one, you can play this game. But
I'm kind of surprised it's there.
Outside of like a handful of those things, like there isn't just like a constant flood of third-party titles that are desirable that you want to really go and play on the Game Pass app. So they've ran into some serious problems with that. And I mean, all the reporting that's come out in the last couple of weeks about it center directly on the acquisition, the amount of money they spent, and Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. And how much they have lost their asses on Call of Duty because the overwhelming amount of people that are playing Call of Duty are playing it on PlayStation, like an ungodly amount. The percentage is incredibly high, over 50%.
That happened. That's crazy.
The install base is on PlayStation. So you're really in trouble there because there's no Game Pass on PlayStation, obviously. So people are just buying the game, which sure.
That's not, but technically that's not trouble.
It's
People are
trouble
buying the game and handing Microsoft the money to play it on PlayStation.
Yes, but it's trouble because they're cutting money to Activision and then they're cutting money to Sony in that scenario.
Sure.
So it's eating into the profit. If people are buying on Xbox, then yeah, your money, but that's not what's happening. So they are losing money on the Call of Duty franchise. And so to recoup, that is the rumors that Schreier reported in particular, as that this is what they're doing. Is they are absolutely losing money hand over fist, and they're just like, we got to do something to, pull ourselves out of this tailspin.
But are they losing money, or are they saying we are leaving money on the table?
Well, they're leaving money on the table because they really hedged their bets. This is all reporting that's come out. They hedged their bets on how much Game Pass was going to grow because of Call of Duty. And when the last Call of Duty came out, it did not grow exponentially like they expected it to. For many different reasons, one of which you could go fucking play it on PlayStation. And most people were doing that, right? And so they are like, oh, this did not pan out the way that we wanted it to. So what are we going to do to essentially right the ship? And clearly, you don't raise prices like this if you are in a healthy state. If your subscriber base is growing and growing and growing, then there's no reason to raise the price, right? I mean, unless you're Nintendo and you just do greedy shit all the time. But for Microsoft, it's very clear that there's problems with this whole program. And so,
well, I think they had a plan and they thought it was going to grow X amount.
Yeah.
And they had like Phil Spencer, I think he had quite a long leash to do some things that were received pretty well, like in the industry when he first came in and what he was doing. It was like, man, this is not terrible. But I think all of that was based on the promise of far more growth than they ever got. And then that didn't happen. And so eventually the people over him showed up and said, yeah, you actually your numbers are not right. And you did not achieve what you were basically selling us down the road. That's what it feels like to me. And now they're just fucked ? I don't know.
100% fucked. They're fucked.
Well, I guess what does that mean? What does fucked mean? Like, are they going to not make money? Like, what is...
No,
Game Pass
they haven't made money like ever really. Xbox as a fucking entity has not made money ever.
Perfect.
No,
just say write it up.
Yeah, exactly. No. I think realistically, the writing is on the wall. I think we're witnessing the beginning of the end, in my opinion. Of Microsoft's just gonna go they're gonna go the road of Sega. And just be like, we make games now. You know what I mean? I think
they could probably make, in quotes, like presumably they have the IP.
Yeah.
If you're a normal person, they have the IP where it's like, hey, this is good. We're making money. In Microsoft world, they're never going to be happy. It's never going to be enough. Right. Like they will.
I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, I don't think it's going to be soon. I think that they will continue to put out some sort of console. Also, I just saw reviews for the ROG thing that
the ROG.
Yeah, that's like $1,000. People are not loving that thing in the media. I read a review that was pretty scathing today about it, and
why?
They like the ergonomics of it. I'll say that, but when compared to other, similar competition like the Switch 2, which is significantly cheaper, and the Steam Deck, which is also significantly cheaper. It's older, but it's significantly cheaper. They're like, this is just not enough of a value add to really like go crazy
for $1,000 or whatever they're selling.
Yeah, and it's also half baked, just in terms of like the Microsoft implementation. Apparently, there's also some which might be able to be patched out. But some hardware bugs where the buttons and the analog sticks are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and there's getting like ghost inputs on the thing. The review I read today, I can't remember what publication it was, PC Gamer maybe. They were not super happy with it.
Well, I wish Microsoft hadn't have acquired half of all video games, because that's kind of Kind of shitty.
Well, yeah, it's super shitty. And then Saudi Arabia has just bought EA. So Saudi Arabia just bought them. So
So
we're,
I have questions about Tiger Woods golf
yeah,
because what uh it's usually a PGA thing, right? And Saudi Arabia is all about
the live thing.
their thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they
the,
did away with Tiger Woods a while ago, so
Sure,
now
sure.
it's just PGA golf or whatever. And the last one that they released was fine, but compared, a lot of people like the 2K offering more. So
I mean, that's a license too, though. The PGA. I mean, if you're the PGA
yeah,
and the Saudis just bought it, you're
yeah.
like, well, I'm gonna fucking re up this license.
I
Like,
think it's probably going to be live
yeah,
EA live
right.
golf probably. Yeah,
And
everybody can play with their favorite golfers, Patrick Reed and Sergio Garcia.
what a fucking mess, man. What an absolute fucking mess.
Yeah, no, it's gross. It's real gross. So yeah, that's where we're at with this stuff. Do you want to talk about an EA game real quick?
Yeah, what do you got?
Battlefield 6 is out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that you had played it. I have only read a couple reviews, and I know the IGN gave it a shockingly low review. But where are you
for the story campaign in
Yes,
particular?
yes.
I haven't touched the story campaign. I probably won't. But I've been playing some multiplayer, and that is it's a lot of fun. It's a good game.
Battlefield back.
Yes, I'm not a Battlefield expert, but I have played pretty much all of them. I'm not a diehard by any means, but as I have gotten older, I have appreciated the Battlefield formula far more than the Call of Duty formula. You know, this game incentivizes teamwork, and really, if you want to have the most success, you need to be playing the objectives and working with the squad that the game gives you, right? Which sometimes is very difficult because some people are dipshits, but
No.
yeah.
Gamers?
Yeah.
Weird. What's the time frame setting it for this game? Like, what kind of guns are you using?
Oh, it's
muskets, bows.
No, it's 2027.
Oh, so good shit.
Yeah,
you got some good stuff.
Yeah. You are fighting. NATO is like dissolving, and like a Blackwater-esque private military organization is doing bad shit. So those are like the two factions fighting against one another. Yeah, it's all modern tech. Nothing super crazy. You know, you're not seeing like robot dogs or anything like that. It's like modern combat, you know, and yeah, it feels great. It's pretty slow in comparison. Like if you're going to play like Call of Duty or anything like that, everything is a little bit more slow and weighty, but I actually like that. And just the fucking chaos that DICE is known for is here.
Are you dying every 9 seconds?
No, not necessarily. Like,
that's my biggest complaint about Call of Duty, which I guess if I was better.
Yeah.
But like it's just like I have a hard time with those competitive games. It's just like you die so fast.
Well, the map is huge in a lot of cases. Yeah. Like obviously depending on the game mode that you're playing, but if you're playing like Conquest, which is like one of the more popular game modes, the maps are fucking huge, right? And so, you know, you can spawn in and you really got like a lot of area to cover, right? Sure. So you're not dying immediately. Like if you choose to like go to an objective that you control but is being contested, you spawn in there. Yeah, obviously you might die pretty quickly because there's an active fight going on there. But if you want to spawn on the periphery, you're definitely going to be able to survive and kind of make the choices that you want. I will say I want to play more of this game. I've just been thinking about it. I was going to play today, but then I decided to play more than another game we're going to talk about today. But this thing is pretty goddamn good, dude. Like that's cool. Feels really good, and I am pretty into it. You know, I don't know how long I'll stick with it. Just because I don't usually stick around with these games long term. But the big thing that they really did away with that people hated was like there's always a class system in these games. You know, you got assault, engineer, medic. And they all serve different purposes. But with 2042, which was the previous one that people hated when it originally came out, it was these character, like more Overwatch style character classes that you were playing as. And really what it turned into, there was like two people that you wanted to play as, the zipline guy or the wingsuit dude.
Those
And
were the two.
those were the two. So it was just like a 64 player server.
64 squirrels out there.
Exactly. And like maybe slight variations on their costumes depending on what people had from their battle passes and things like that. But it just did not feel right, and it never really worked. And even when they fixed it, in air quotes, people were still like, this is just not it. So they've done away with that and went back to like the basics when it comes to
a more
this.
standard class that's not as extreme. But
Yes, exactly. But there is some evolution to it as well, where in previous Battlefield games, you were kind of stuck into like an archetype. So like, for instance, support generally would get like an SMG, you know, like an MP9 or something like that. And that's fine, but like it was kind of limiting. So now you're kind of free to just like any weapon that's in the game, you can just like put onto the character.
You can be a sniper support.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why you do that, because as a sniper, you're just like a dumb fuck that's just hiding in a bush away from everyone.
Yeah, I won't do that.
But you're not going to be healing anyone in the bush.
Fuck them.
Okay.
If I get shot, I'm going to patch myself up, put some Neosporin, some Bactine on there, get it all taken care of.
Yeah.
It's all great.
Yeah. So it's cool from that perspective. There are 64 or 65 weapons in the game, which is a lot.
That seems like a lot.
And pretty robust customization. So kind of following in the footsteps of some of the things you've seen from like modern Call of Duties and things like that. There is a lot of content creators being like, this is the best build for the M4A1 in Battlefield 6, you know, which I actually like that, because it gives you like variation. You can kind of tool a weapon out to your specific play style.
Can you go get into vehicles and shit?
Oh yeah,
tanks, buggies, helicopters.
Yep,
jets,
all the shit.
Jets.
Yep. Oh yeah, modern jets, and they're fucking sweet. They're really hard. I've never been good at piloting them.
Sure,
but there is like some pretty robust training tools in this game as well, where you can just like go and play against bots and like train on a specific type of equipment if you want to get better at it. So I appreciate that, because there is like a certain skill ceiling with those helicopters and planes. They just control pretty crazily, and it's kind of magic to watch somebody that's really good at piloting those.
They probably should control. They should be hard to control.
Yeah, because they're devastating.
Otherwise, it would just
they're absolutely devastating in the hands of somebody that knows what they're doing. So
also,
yes,
it's hilarious if people are just like fucking like, you know,
yeah,
just like crashing.
Well, yeah, like the first match I played, like I got in a helicopter, like a Chinook, that like a personnel carrier basically, and immediately we like took off and the guy just crashed us. And we all died.
I mean, isn't that why you play Battlefield?
Yeah,
for a lot of it
it's just nuts, dude. I mean, huge, depending on the type of game you're playing, like huge player counts, you know, 64 versus 64. It's just nuts. You know what I mean?
Running well.
Oh yeah, it runs really well, which is crazy, because like I just finished playing Borderlands. That game's bad. And
rough.
And you look at the performance of this thing, and I mean, the Frostbite engine is proven. It's a good engine for this type of game, for sure.
Yeah. Battlefield's not like an elite level. Sorry, I'm messing up the joke. What did Pitchford say about
premium gaming?
Yeah, Battlefield's it's not for premium gamers.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels pretty fucking premium. The game looks fantastic. I mean, it looks so good, and on a beefy rig, I'm getting like 150 frames a second, pretty consistently. Feels buttery smooth. It's great. It's really good, and I want to play more of it, which is surprising to me.
Nice.
But I think most people feel that way about the single player campaign. Most people are like, it's not it. But multiplayer, pretty much everyone is like, it's definitely it. It's definitely it. So yeah, if you're interested in it, check it out.
I think you got to have a pretty good hook if you're going to get me for a single player shooter campaign. Like you got to have something narratively going on, or something more than just a action drama thing.
Sure.
Okay, well, flip a coin. Do you want to talk about Trails in the Sky or Hades 2?
Let's talk about Trails in the Sky.
Nice. You've played it more than me, but I've played the original and played through it. I think I'm towards the end of the first chapter.
Trails
So
in the Sky first chapter is what it's called.
yeah, and then they have chapters, but yeah, I'm like thoroughly loving my time with the game. I just think it's a kind of a joy to play, and I like the characters a lot. But where are you falling on this thing?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's good. You know, I don't have like a ton of experience with the series, which is
Mm.
crazy because I put 100+ hours into the first Trails of Cold
Cold
Steel,
Steel.
and then probably like 30 or so into the second Trails of Cold Steel, and then this, right? And so my experience with the series is fairly limited when we're talking about like the series in its totality, because there's a shitload of games. But yeah, I've enjoyed myself. I think that there are some things that I'm like not super into about this thing, but overall, I think it's pretty fun. I am like shocked how I'm in chapter 2.
Okay.
So there's a prologue, chapter 1, chapter 2.
Yep.
And I've just seen what I think the game is doing, and I like it. But there are some pain points with that where, so basically, each chapter, it seems like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you've got your two protagonist characters that are brother and sister, but not really. That, are doing bracer stuff, which are basically mercenary group. And they meet other bracers and
Mercenary FEMA. Like, I don't know, they're out there helping people. Like,
yes, yeah, sure.
Just
and other bracers and androgynous dudes that want to fuck everything that walks, that can play a lute really good.
Male or female.
Yeah, no, he's an equal opportunity lover.
Very clear that he doesn't care.
He does not care. Actually, I really like that character. But yeah, no, it seems like each chapter you're gonna get two different characters that are basically following you around, right? Because at the end of the first chapter, the two people that were with you, they're like, we're gonna fuck off and go our separate ways. And then I'm like, why? I invested a lot.
Like, I just got you going.
I just invested a lot into you, and like I felt like we were rolling.
Yeah.
We were working. And now like I'm back to square one with these two piddly ass dorks that it does not feel great before you get new characters in your party, when it's just the two of them again, where you're just like,
well, because you can get
like
them
artificially weaker now.
And you can get them maxed out pretty early.
Yeah, which I also don't love.
Which then you're using it to help your new characters that show up.
Sure.
But it's you definitely kind of open up their slots. Like I'm almost done, and I'm only in chapter 1.
Yeah, I don't love that. Like, I don't remember exactly how it functioned in Cold Steel, but I felt like there was more slots available in the orbital thing.
It works that thing works a lot differently.
Yeah.
In the Cold Steel, it's just a different mechanic on, and then how it like creates spells as you slot them in a line. Cold Steel doesn't work like that.
Right. It's interesting the way that it works here, but I just feel like the amount of slots you have are fairly limited. So once you get every slot unlocked on the two main characters, then it's just at that point you're wrapping your mind around like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just gonna upgrade my spheres, and that's what I'm gonna do. I wish that there was more slots personally.
Sure.
But I mean, that's a small gripe. I do really like the characters. I mean, in similar fashion to Cold Steel, I think these characters are well fleshed out. There's a lot of dialogue, and I think the characters are pretty likable. I like Estelle a lot. Joshua is like, there's obviously a lot of mystery towards Joshua, and I think that's a big part of the story. So I'll reserve judgment, but at this point, he's just kind of like, I don't know, in situations where you don't want somebody to kind of be like spacey and like not locked the fuck in, he's like, I don't know what's going on. I feel weird right now. And it's like, we're about to die, Joshua. Like, you need to fucking lock the fuck in and stop like worrying about whatever the fuck you're thinking about. So there's a lot of mystery to the character. I don't hate that, but yeah. And then the other two characters that I've ran into both of the characters that are going to join the party in chapter 2. One of them seems pretty cool, and then the other one, there's like a side quest that you do in the first chapter, and she shows up, and you're like, oh, okay. And then randomly, I'm playing on the PlayStation. When you go to the home screen, the chapter, whatever chapter you're in, there's like a little widget at the bottom of the screen that shows you the two characters that are going to be in your party for the second chapter.
Yeah.
So I know who they are. So I think that's a cool idea. I will say I have two big gripes with it. I maybe have never ran into an RPG that has nothing going on for as long as this game has done it. Like nothing happens. Like literally nothing fucking happens. There is not like you get used to like this cataclysmic thing that's going to come up, and usually you have an idea of what that thing is like within 10 hours. I'm 30 hours into this game, and the biggest like mystery that's going on is where is our dad? There isn't like this big baddie that's shown up that's like, we're going to fucking fuck shit up. And like, when you compare it to Cold Steel, that's absolutely there. Like there's a lot of cataclysmic things where, you know, like the stakes and you're like, oh shit, this is like, we gotta take care of this shit.
Kind of, but these games all have plenty of like, hey, there's stuff going on, but don't miss the flower festival. Well, you got to bring 12 flowers. Make sure you get them in there.
Yes,
good. Like,
no, for sure. There's like a lot of ancillary shit in Cold Steel. I'm not saying that that's not the case, especially, you know, with the way that the game works, very similarly to like a Persona game, and you're on like a day cycle and every day is different. I get that, but like, with this, it doesn't have that mechanic, you know, so it's just a more traditional RPG in that way. And like literally nothing has happened. Nothing of like serious consequence. The prologue and the first chapter, you're just chasing these fucking dumb pirates around, sky pirates, and that's fine. But then like the overarching story in the game is like, our dad was supposed to be on this airship that the pirates took. But then we find out he wasn't on the ship, and it's like, where's dad? And fucking, he just sends you a letter and he's like, hey, I'm good. Like at the end of chapter 1, he literally gives you a letter and he's like, hey bros, I'm all right. I'm just fucking doing my thing.
Doing my dad's stuff.
I'm going to be gone for 3 months. So like work on becoming better bracers. And like, that's fine. That's fine. But like, it's kind of surprising to me that nothing's really going on except these two kids fucking having a journey, which I guess is fine.
I don't know how much your opinion's ever going to change on this first one.
Okay.
I mean, so some stuff happens, but not at the level that we're used to in an RPG where that they don't save the world in this iteration. And you know, I think it's a trilogy. I think there's 3 of them. And it is very clearly planned, because at the end of it you're like, oh yeah, this is just, you gotta keep playing.
It's just starting.
Yep, absolutely. And it's it just pays off because it has a great cast of characters with great interactions.
Yeah, which I agree with that. Like up to this point, you know, very similar feelings that I think Cold Steel in particular is one of the best RPGs at fleshing out characters. I wouldn't say that I've gotten to the point of appreciation for the characters that I've seen so far in this game, but I know that this is a pretty long experience. And so, yeah, I'm sure that there's going to be things that are fleshed out and it's going to get a little bit more dynamic. But yeah, just kind of surprising that really there isn't any big stakes. There isn't like, you know, they allude to Erebonia being a problem, and there was a 100-year war, or 100-day war, I should say. And you know, that was a problem, and we're kind of worried, and like we're in this kind of like standstill moment with the Erebonian Empire, but like there isn't like,
just go get the newspaper, read the paper.
Erebonia. No, I'm not fuck no. I don't want to read the newspaper.
I'll tell you about some stuff.
Yeah,
read the news.
It's just a different experience than what I'm come accustomed to with RPGs.
I like the combat quite a bit. How are you enjoying it?
I like it. I think it's pretty good. I think that the real time to turn-based combat is an interesting idea.
I think I'd be fine with it not being just turn-based.
Yeah,
I like turn-based. It's fun, and the real time is not. There's no depth there.
Exactly. That's my big criticism with it. It's just like getting an enemy to like a stun state, then you hit square, unless you're going X or whatever you're playing on.
Unless you're going through like an area where they're like below your level, so then you can just murder them. So that's nice. But other games, Persona games, and they've already handled that type of thing where you don't have to actually do a full
Right.
battle.
I think it's kind of a half measure. I don't think that it's particularly compelling, but it's not bad either. It's just like I just kind of feel like I'm going through the motions with the real time combat. It'd be nice if there was like a little bit more depth there in terms of like things that you could do to the enemies and stuff like that. But there really isn't up to this point. Maybe it'll expand out, but I don't foresee that
It's not
happening.
particularly good at tracking any enemies anyway, so it's kind of just a shit show. You're just
You have a
swinging your
lock
staff
on.
around
You
and-
get a lock on, but they don't tell you about the lock on until like shockingly late.
It's like-
Where you're like, why just not tell me immediately
Like-
that there's a lock on ability? Yeah, it's just it's fine. But yeah, no, the turn-based combat's good. I think it's really fun. This is my other big criticism with it though. Is the RNG in this game, I don't know if they like didn't tweak it from like the original game or what, but like there have been situations in boss fights where the bosses usually get to go first, and I have died before I even get a turn. And I'm like, there's nothing I could do. Like, I literally didn't get a turn. I couldn't even heal. Like, I just go into the fight, and then they're like, "You're dead," and it's just like, what?
Are you playing on the standard difficulty?
Yeah.
So I'm on the next level up, and in that epilogue, there's towards the end of it, you have to like protect some dumb fuck kids or something,
Mm-hmm.
and if they die,
Right.
it's over.
You're right.
And what you're saying, the RNG, it took me maybe 5 times to beat it, but there was no way I could have not lost.
Yeah.
There's no way. I was just like, well, you just killed there's no way I could have prevented you from killing the kid. That
Exactly.
Kid, dead to rights. He was fucked. No way.
Yeah, it's strange that happens.
Mhm.
So it's just like retry. I mean, to be fair, you don't go to a game over screen or anything like that. It's just you can immediately retry, which is nice. But like, there have been times where it's been multiple times where I go in and I'm like, all right, I'm ready. And then the boss just kills out my whole party. And I'm like, cool, I guess I'm retrying. And then the RNG will like the boss will pick a different move or do a different thing. And then it's like, oh, I get a turn now. That's sweet. Also, the accuracy in this game is fucking some bullshit. I feel like I'm playing XCOM sometimes.
What are you talking about?
Joshua in particular can't hit the fucking broadside of a barn. Sometimes it'll just be like, miss, 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 miss. And I'm like, are you fucking serious, Joshua? You have 2 swords. You have 2 chances to hit this motherfucker.
Oh, but for the record, I do not know what the fuck you're talking about, so I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it's just me. I've had like situations where the RNG just fucks me, and it's one of those games which I like. They lie and say this is not something that we do, but I've been in a couple of situations where the bosses in particular, it's like, oh, you're dead to rights, and then I'll miss a bunch. Like 5 or 6 times, everyone misses, and then they kill me. And it's just like, that's not just me like losing the dice roll, the internal dice roll over and over. You fucked me. You want me to do this over.
I probably haven't, like, I use Joshua almost exclusively as a delay machine. So just that he uses that craft. I forget what it's called, but it just delays their turn.
Yeah.
And that doesn't miss. That's
yeah.
normal attack. So that's almost like I never use his ultimate with it. I just use usually that to bring up the other guys. Just keep delaying everyone.
He is good. Well, that's the thing is like outside of his arts are good, but then also his like physical attacks. Some of those, like when you get further into the game, they do a boatload of damage.
Oh yeah.
And so he's pretty versatile, but it's like sometimes, and it's not just him, but like I bring him up because I feel like he's the one that misses the most. I even went and looked, I was like, what's this motherfucker's accuracy? Because I just keep on missing with him and I don't understand what's going on. So yeah, like the RNG is just a little weird.
Just give him all the droplets.
Yeah, exactly.
Accuracy.
It just doesn't feel super modern when you look at like more modern RPGs and like some of the things that it just feels a little old school, which makes sense because this game, when did the first one originally come out? Like,
oh geez, it was in the 2000s, wasn't it?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I think so. So that makes sense. You know, I think that probably internally they're like, we want to keep this true to what the game was, but like give it a massive facelift.
The towns are exact.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. Like the relent is, you're just like, oh yeah, I literally remember going down these stairs. So that's kind of neat.
The loading screen is a nice little touch because it's like the original sprites of the characters walking in the corner.
Yep.
Which I enjoy that quite a bit. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty good. I'm into it,
Mm.
and like I have wanted to play really nothing but this over the last little bit. But that I guess that's not exactly true.
It's not that long. It's not a 90-hour game. That first one I thought was 45 to 60 or something like that.
It would seem that way because I've done 2 towns. That's basically how the story works. It's like you go from town
Yep.
to town. And I am in the 3rd town now, and there are 2 more after that. So like it can't be that long unless you go to other places after those
No,
2 towns.
no, the formula is the same throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I definitely want to get through it because I know that this trilogy really has like some significant story tie-ins to the other games and the other
Yeah,
games in the series. So I definitely want to get through all of it. And they said that they were going to remake the other 2 as well. So we'll just have to wait 10 years and then I'll be ready to play the other games.
yeah. You can't do this and not do the other. It would be offensive.
Have you finished the second one?
No, and now I don't think I will. I think I
Yeah.
would just wait for this next
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Probably because if I was going to go and play, then I would continue Cold Steel 3, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, those ones don't need the remake as much as Trails does.
Right.
It could still benefit, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll do everything forever, right? We'll be 60 and they'll be remaking these things because I think they're cash cows.
100%. People love these things, and for good reason. I think that they are very good, and I've had a really good time with it. It's definitely scratched the itch. But then I'm also in a year that Claire Obscure came out. I'm like,
It doesn't hold up.
I don't know if this is. It's kind of hard to go back to older school RPGs after playing something that I think just transformed it
Yeah.
in a pretty significant way. So
That makes sense. We'll take a break. We'll come back, talk about Hades 2. I wrapped up Silksong and more. All right, we're back. We're drinking Guinness.
pints of Guinness make you strong, Nick.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's good beer.
It is a good beer.
I made fun of my wife one time, a long time ago, for saying her favorite beer was Guinness.
Mm.
And
Does she still feel that way?
she doesn't drink beer, so I think it's a not valid question to ask her. Like
Okay.
she is never like, I brought home some beer. Like it's just not a thing that happens. So like
that's funny imagery though.
You know what I mean? Like it's just not no. So anyway, I should take it all back because I can understand someone saying like my favorite beer is Guinness. Like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
It is up there. It's definitely in my top 5. Well, top 10 for sure. I don't really like stouts, but there's something about the flavor profile of Guinness that just works. I think a lot of stouts are a little too like chocolate coffee forward. And like, if I want those things, I'll just have those things. I mean, I just want my beer to be more like a beer. But Guinness doesn't really have that, maybe a little bit, but it's more kind of its own thing. But yeah, we were talking about it off air about splitting the G and how that's like what you're supposed to do is like a pint glass that you get a pour of Guinness at a bar is typically going to be branded with like the Guinness logo, and you're supposed to take one big drink and split the G. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. I just want to like have small sips of beer. I don't really want to take like a big swig of it. I'm not in fucking college.
Who told you this though? Because I went to Ireland and no one was like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Yeah,
He didn't split the
some drunk Irish man I met on the street told me.
Okay.
No, it's like a known thing,
Right.
like social media and things like that. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, we've both been there, and like I drank like pretty much exclusively Guinness when I was in Ireland.
Yeah, I did the same.
And I did not really notice much difference from like getting a pour of Guinness over here and there. And like there are people on social media whose like whole career and like successful careers is like going to different pubs in Ireland and rating the pint, the pour, and
Of
things
Guinness?
like yeah.
Well, because it's a whole fucking deal. Every bar, it's just a joke. Is like we pour the best pint of Guinness.
Right.
It's
And like, don't get me wrong, it's like an art to pour a pint of Guinness the right
Sure.
way, all the way up to the top with like the right amount of head. Like I'm not discounting that, but like I had plenty of it, and none of it was like, you know what, this is like exponentially better than any other pint of Guinness I've ever had. It just tastes like Guinness to me.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm just like, and it seems like the general consensus is that I am wrong about that. But I just, in my experience, it's Guinness. It's good, but it's just fucking Guinness.
I think they're all nuts because the same. I had a lot of Guinness and was never like, oh, we got to go back to that one bar. It's more just the setting, and the setting's pretty cool over there to be drinking Guinness in most of those pubs.
Pubs in England, Ireland, it's just a different thing that we like historically and like just culturally have kind of moved away from. And I think prohibition is really like where you can point to where there was like this huge gap in our communal watering holes, and that was kind of like eroded and destroyed for a good amount of time in the United States, where they have like hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands of years of pub culture, where like if you're a person in a local community, like you go to the pub, and because of that, their setups and their bars, they just feel drastically different than like what you
strip malls.
Yeah. Well, no, it just feels like a house basically that you go into.
Yep.
And like you go there. If you live in those communities, you go there on a regular basis and you see your homies and you just fucking chill. And like, I don't know. It's just a different thing. And I love that culture way more than our bar culture here.
Yeah, one of the bars we went to, we met like a couple there. They brought their dog, and it was awesome. I was like showing them pictures of golden retrievers that I'm a big fan of. Their dog was not a golden retriever, but he was still okay. It was a puppy, so it was like really awesome.
Yeah, it's just a different thing, and also like you can say, well, like, you're an alcoholic if you go and have a pint every single day at the bar. And I would say, fuck off for that. Like you can have a couple of pints and be fine. You know what I mean? And here it just feels like the bar is an event, right? Even when we were young, the bar, you go to the bar, it's an event, right? I feel like with the pub in Europe and England and things like that, it's just like you go to the fucking pub and it's like home.
It's not an event if you go cheers to you. That's a deal.
That's true.
That's a separate situation over there. They're trying to keep it.
Well, it almost burned down recently. Like scarily close to burning down. Which we didn't talk about that. That's a huge fucking bummer.
Yeah, Whiskey Street.
The best whiskey bar in the city burned fucking down. Some people would say maybe the Water Witch is getting close to that, but like, I don't know. The selection of whiskey that they had available was just unreal, and that shit burned down. And then White Horse, which was a fantastic place to get dinner and have a couple of drinks, also fucking burned down. So, and somehow fucking like a cockroach surviving a nuclear blast, cheers to you, survived. So, I mean, the Coke bathroom lives on, Nick.
That place, it's not it. I don't know.
Make sure you're up to date on your shots if you go to Cheers to You.
Never been into that place.
We're probably, I have been into that place. Oh, yeah.
Like you enjoy it? I really never went there and was like, I should stay.
Nah.
Whenever I was there, I was just like, we should leave and go literally anywhere else.
I lived with a dirty, heshy motherfucker that like, that's all his vibe. Like that and the jackalope. Like those were his two favorite haunts. So I spent a lot of time in Cheers to You.
Okay. All right. Well, not a big fan. Fuck, dude. I've had a hard, like I've played some other games. But Silksong just really I couldn't actually stop. Didn't want to stop, and managed today. Finished beat the final boss. Probably about 3 hours. Not today, but over. That's probably how long it took me to
hard boss then, huh?
Yeah, it was a hard fucking boss. 3-phase boss. They're, I think, the only 3-phase boss in the game, I believe.
Okay.
Motherfucker. I don't know that. I guess if you're worried about spoilers, I might spoil some boss names, but like, it's Lace. Like, you fight her a couple times and she, fuck.
She's the one with like she's got a needle too, right?
Yep,
basically.
Yeah. She basically is like the Hornet stand-in from like
right.
Hollow Knight is how it always felt. But Yeah, the
I fought her once already.
yeah. So you fight her 3 times total, and then that last one is really fucking hard. The thing I'll say about it is it's really it succeeds in you start that boss fight and you just get melted. And you're like, whoa. And I knew there were 3 phases. I was like, well, this is impossible. Like, it's never going to happen. And then some time goes by, and you're like, actually, I kind of am figuring out the first phase. And by the end of it, like, I can almost go without getting hit on the first phase. But wow, does it really get super fucking hard? Spoilers, the really hard game, it still, it just keeps ramping up. And that's not the only boss that's hard. Like, did you fight Trobio? The dude on the stage with all the fireworks?
No.
It's a huge bummer. He's a cool boss. And then you fight Super Trobio. It's not his name, but like you fight him again. You fight him again.
I wish it was.
He's a fucking awesome boss. It's like a theater scenario.
Yeah, I heard about it.
There's a lot of pyrotechnics, and the second time you fight him, and holy god, every time I fight these guys, I'm just like, fuck. I'll tell you, I love the game, and I am ready to move on because it's raises my fucking like heart rate, blood pressure. Like it's been a motherfucker. I think overall it's pretty much fantastic. I have like some complaints, but nothing that's like too insane. You end up being able to fast travel a little better.
That's good.
So that became helpful, and it's fucking dope because. Do you care if I spoil any of these things? Okay.
Probably not going back to it, to be honest with you.
So like in Act 3, shit goes south. So there's a reason you had to do all the side quests before Act 3. They would not function. But you go to your faithful fucking mount, whatever the fast travel dude is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's not there. And then you like fall down a hole, and there's like a monster that's causing problems.
Mm-hmm.
So you fight that boss. And then you don't actually kill the boss. I mean, you clearly hit a threshold, and then your faithful steed comes back and fucking eats him, and it's awesome.
It's cool.
And he's got kids. He's got little babies. So the fast travel mechanic is like you play your little violin thinger.
Yeah.
And the kids come and just dig a hole where you are and take you to him. And it's awesome.
That's
and then
cool.
Whenever you go places now, these little babies are running next to you.
Oh, wow.
It's a cool mechanic.
I wish that was earlier in the game.
For sure, because it is. I mean,
that's in chapter 3.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
That's when it opens up. It's basically. I mean, you can't even see the percentage of completion until chapter 3. Like they've just made it so it's like for the people that are going to get sweaty about it, you can't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think it's. Awesome. It'll definitely be in my list somewhere. I don't know exactly where yet, but 80 hours. It's a pretty good amount, right?
It's a big ass Metroidvania.
And it's,
I think, like I said in the previous conversation about this, the biggest Metroidvania. I cannot remember a Metroidvania that I put 80 hours in, not close to 80 hours.
I think so. I'm not sure if I'm like slow compared to what some other people do. I'm kind of blown away. Like I
think the record's like 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Yeah, well,
which is nuts.
And there's like there's an achievement if you beat the game in 5 hours, which I think is only through Act 2. And then there's an achievement for 100%ing it in under 30. That's a lot of goddamn. I don't know how you do it. And then it opens up Steel Soul mode. I think it's Steel Soul, and you can't die. And people have done it.
So you just, wow.
If you die, you restart. It's like a hardcore character for Diablo. Wow. And I don't understand how you could be good enough to just never die. Like there's some bullshit that happens in there.
I mean, it's just hundreds of hours of practice.
Like
it's practice. You know what I mean?
For sure. You would have
to do it if you were like, I don't want to play any other games for 5 months. You could do it.
Probably.
And I think anybody could do it. It's just having that dedication to do it. And fuck no. But that's super impressive. Like unbelievably impressive to be that dedicated or have that much autism.
It's probably like
Don't take Tylenol, guys.
It's a fuck, Jared. This is a safe space, and we try to keep all that out of this room. Because good Lord, don't turn on the news. But no, I'm kind of just like, because it happened, like I finished it today. I'm kind of just like, there's just this overwhelming sense of relief. I'm just like, I'm a free man. I can do anything. I can do anything with my life.
Yeah, I don't like that. And just to like touch on it, I still stand by the statements that I made about this game. I think it's fantastic. I really like it a lot. I'm not over here being like, fuck this thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just have got a little bit more stress in my life right now with everything that's going on. And I kind of came to the realization that like this is not helping the stress.
Not.
Going to what you said about like your blood pressure being raised and things like that. It's just like I don't want that with a video game. Like I want my blood pressure to go down, if anything. Like I don't want to have to be like super on edge. And absolutely, most of the time when I was playing that game, that's the way I felt. And I don't need that in my life, man. So
I wonder why I do. Because I absolutely, like, clearly from what the games I talk about on this show, I clearly gravitate.
I don't know why you are the way that you are, especially because you don't have like a particularly like chill lifestyle outside of gaming.
No, it's like I have a terrible work day. It's extremely stressful. And then like dealing with my kids, getting them to bed, and it's just like, oh, this was really hard. And it's just like, what if I was bleeding from my eyes? What would that help? And I was like, might as well fucking try it. What if you only did that for 80 hours?
Yeah.
But I never wanted to play anything else. That's the thing. It's like, yes, I'm glad to be done with it. But I was not like, oh, I gotta go play this game. I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta fucking do it. Especially once I got to a certain point. But man, those completion percentages get pretty low, down to the 20% on some of these end bosses, which
and it's like I feel like I put I probably like 25, 30 hours into that thing and around there. And so it's like played a good amount of it, right? And I think that's my thing. Like going back to what we were talking about length of Metroidvanias, usually used to that you're close to done.
Yep.
And I think that maybe I just want to be done with a Metroidvania after 30 hours, somewhere in there. 80 hours for this type of experience.
I want to know how long you played Hollow Knight. Because Hollow Knight, I put a lot of time in Hollow Knight.
Probably like 50 hours.
You think so?
Probably around there. I would have to go back and look, but a significant amount of time. But I just liked the first game more. And I think that it struck a better balance of like easy breezy gameplay and then also balls of all difficulty. Like the game was hard too. Like there were parts of it that were extremely hard. But the difference between 1 and 2 is just always hard at all times. There is not an easy breezy moment in that game. It's just all hard
until you backtrack.
Sure,
your abilities eventually trivialize the older areas, but
they went a direction and I respect it. It's their right to do it. I don't think that it was for the better for the series, but that's just my personal opinion. And I think, I'm not the only one that feels that way. But yeah, I love the first game and I really like the second game. That's all I can really say.
Sure.
So
now, good to be done. I want to have I was like, finally, I can play something. I can go play something chill. I can do anything in my life. So I started Hades 2.
Yeah, which is not an easy game.
Easy.
No, it is not. It's
a very different beast, and you can actually just get. It is. You know what I was thinking? There's been a lot of roguelikes that kind of instead of the formula where like, hey, you keep doing it and then you keep getting these absolute stat upgrades. We played quite a few that actually are a little chintzy on the amount of upgrades you get. And Hades 2 is not like that. It's back to the old, like the Rogue Legacy type, where it's just like, no, you're actually going to see very serious improvements. So if you can't get through a boss, you will get through the boss, and not necessarily from memorizing the boss. You can actually get through the boss just by playing, and your stats are going to brute force your way through some of these bosses if you need that to happen.
Yeah, I think the meta progression in this game is like chef's kiss good. It is absolutely incredible. I am just so impressed with this thing, just like out the gate. Just to say that, I think this game is fantastic. I was a very big fan of the first game, initially was I was a big fan of the first game, but I wouldn't say that I thought that it was like the best roguelike ever, which like some people would
Absolutely,
make
dude.
that statement.
Those people want to fuck Greek gods, Jared.
That's true. That's true. Um, I do too, to be honest with you. Um, but this thing is on another level in pretty much every way, and it takes some time. I mean, I think our original conversation about this, I was like, it just feels like Hades, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but oh boy, there is a lot here that is drastically different than the original game, but also extremely familiar. So I think they've struck a nice balance. But the meta progression here is just so good because there is a level of frustration that crops up with these types of games, and specifically Hades in particular, because yes, there is like, it doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter how sweaty you are.
You're
like,
not going to go like 3 bosses on your first run. Most likely,
no,
it's just not really
you
possible.
can't do it.
Like,
Because you do not have the right unlocks, you have not progressed enough into the game to really have a good chance of beating those
which is
those bosses.
it's a fair criticism, kind of.
It's a fair
Except it's
criticism.
the style of the game is like, well, that's just not how it's. It doesn't even. It breaks it narratively. You're not supposed to do that. The same reason, like if you like Returnal, some people could go way too far on their first runs, and it's like, no, you got like 5 houses that you got to visit. You got to die.
Right. I think the thing that I think is so good about the progression in this game is that you get beefy upgrades. So there's a cauldron in like the hub area that basically is going to be, there are other areas where you upgrade things, but the cauldron is going to be one of the big areas where you start upgrading things that are going to really, really help you.
Yep.
And at first, I will say that the game doesn't do a great job of explaining that how consequential the cauldron is. Like you can go
Kind
and
of doesn't explain a lot.
that's true.
But that's kind of like by design.
Yeah, that's true. You got to really go in and read the flavor text of the things that you can upgrade and what they're going to do for you in the cauldron. But when you start wrapping your mind around the things that it actually does, and how intentional the upgrades or the consumable items that you're getting in your early runs, how those directly correlate to those early unlocks in the cauldron, it's just perfect the way that it works. And once you start wrapping your mind around the fact that like every run that I do, I'm gonna die. I might make it to the same boss that I did the last time, and I'm gonna die. But what did I get in this run, right? Consumable items that I can take back to the hub and unlock something new in the cauldron. Once you start wrapping your mind around that aspect of the game, it becomes really compelling because it's like, it's like, okay, my objective is not to get to Kronos and beat Kronos. My objective is to farm as much resources as I possibly can and then get as far as I can, have a good run, whatever that is, because the goal early on, at least, is I am trying to get as many consumables as possible. And chaos, which was in the first game, there are these little portals that open up that are separate from the gates that are in the game. And she basically lives in a basement, as far as I can. She's like in a different realm, but you go down there and it's basically a trade-off where like
that's the one where you have to give health to go down, right? It's usually like, hey, 10 health penalty, and
yeah,
you go down there, and then
yes, and then she has boons that on the surface are bad, where it'll be like for the next 3 run or for like the next 6 rooms, if you dash you lose mana, or if you dash you lose health. But after this, you get 3 times more resources when you gather from the gathering hubs.
I fucking love that shit.
Yes.
I absolutely love being like, oh, my damage is going to go up 100%. I just got to be 50% speed for 4 rooms.
Yes.
Not like, absolutely.
Yes. So there are a lot of runs in this game early on where you're like, okay, I'm resource gathering. Like I'm not worried about, it'd be great if I beat Cerberus, if I get to Kronos, great. But really, my goal is to resource gather so I can go and upgrade more of the cauldron. And once you get a good amount of unlocks going, there is a lot going on in the hub world and a lot of things that are going to benefit you. And I think that that's fantastic. And that's not even to talk about the Arcana
I
system.
was gonna say there's a lot more than just the incantations. That they're kind of like
Yes.
a card system,
The
and
yeah, they're basically tarot cards, and you can equip a finite amount of them, but there's a resource that allows you to gain more more slots
yep,
basically.
yep.
And so Arcana cards basically are like a secondary build that you can apply. You can remove them, add them, but you're limited to how many you can equip at a certain time. I believe the cap is 30 points
Is it? All right,
total.
I'm at like 20 right now or something
Yeah,
like that.
and all of the Arcana cards do different things for your builds. So there's that. It was a little bit different in Hades, the original, where it was like it was color based. So it was like you pick one color and then you choose. It's like blue or green or whatever, and you pick that color, and there were like specific buffs associated with that. So it was more limited. Where this is like very granular, and you can pick and choose what you want on an individual build to kind of synergize with whatever weapon that you want to use. The weapons here, there are 6 new weapons. They're all new. There's no repeated weapons here in the game. And they are all good. Like, I think that there are a few that I'm like, I don't love this. But then it's really just based around what god boons you're going to have in your run. Like every weapon, I found viable paths for
For
success with every single weapon.
you have to in this type of game.
Yes.
You absolutely have to have really multiple different paths of success for each weapon, because
Right.
the way these work, they have like a standard attack, they have a special attack, which a lot of times is like a ranged attack, and then you have your little thing on the ground, your hex, not your hex, your
I can't remember the term. It is your hex. It is your hex because your hex,
hex is
your
he,
omega attack.
hex is a separate thing that
You
you
get your
can do.
attack, your special, your omega, and your hex. Those
Okay.
are the 4 things you have.
But the hex you don't have naturally. You have to pick that up, right?
No, the omega is the thing that you have to
Okay.
pick up. So the
Um,
hex is you hold, if you're playing on Switch, you would hold A button
got it.
and it creates this circle on the ground. And if you hold it, it takes mana to use, but it will lock enemies in place so you can do damage to them.
No, we don't have it right. It's your cast.
You,
That's called your cast.
is
Right?
that your cast?
Yeah.
I swear that's your hex.
The hex is the one you absolutely pick up, and then you use X amount of mana and you do ZR.
Okay.
Nearly positive.
Either way, we just laid out everything that you have. We haven't figured it all out.
But where I was going is there'll be some runs where I really don't use, like, I may not build towards standard attack,
Mhm.
and I'm only using special because that's the thing that I've been boosting. So
Right.
I'm just like, and then I'm sure with that same one you could go the other direction, right?
Mhm.
So it's pretty interesting. And then like I wouldn't use the cast very much if I'm doing a ranged one, because like if they're close to me, this is kind of actually a problem. I got to get the fuck out of here. It's been a lot of fun. And then there's that other skill that you get from the gods by giving them gifts. I forget what that's called. You can equip one a run, but you can move it around, and that's pretty helpful. And you can upgrade that by using it X amount of times. That's pretty much ripped directly from the first Hades.
Yeah. Additionally, there are aspects of every single weapon. There are 3 different aspects for each weapon. So there's 6 total weapons and then 3 aspects per weapon. And you unlock those the further you get into the game. And those are, I mean, this was in the first game as well, but it was a little bit harder because you had to use Titan's blood in the first one, if I remember correctly. And it was a little bit slower. Like that was very late or mid game point where you were getting that. But you get the ability to unlock like different variations of the weapons a lot quicker here. And they are drastically different. So much so that it feels like they follow the same kind of guidelines depending on what weapon you're going to use. But depending on what aspect you have equipped, they are drastically different, and they may be not as good with certain god combinations or different boons from gods. So like you might get used to using one weapon and you're like, oh, Apollo's great on this weapon. But then when you switch to a different aspect of the same weapon, it's like Apollo's dog shit on this one, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of depth with that. So you combine the fact that you've got the aspects, you've got the arcana system, and then when you get further in the game, you get familiars as well, which is fantastic.
Your
And
pet,
yes,
my frog.
yes,
Yeah.
and those things do different things for you, which are really beneficial. The frog is probably, I mean, the frog is actually really good,
I only have the frog.
and you can upgrade the pets as well. As you get further into it, you can unlock skins for the pets, which is fantastic as well. But you can increase their power level. They're going to do different things for you. Really, really fucking helpful when you get a few of them, right? And you've got options, and you also level them up a bit. So that's great as well. The other new thing here is there's 2 paths that you can go on.
Yeah.
It's not just going down one path. There are 2 that end.
That's what I was alluding to at the end of the last show when I said there's some stuff that I've heard of.
Yes.
That I knew that you could go up.
Yes.
Which I haven't been able to go up yet. But you can go up. I need to go up because I think that's where I get bronze or some shit that I need.
You get
just some
bronze and
upgrades
adamant.
stuff.
Adamant
Yeah.
is a really important resource that you get from the Olympus path.
So I haven't been up there. Is it cool?
It's fucking awesome. I like it more personally. Just the way that it's set up, just the path. It's the same amount of different levels,
Sure.
and the boss on both sides, Kronos, or if you're fighting the other one, it's fucking hard.
I fought Kronos once and I actually almost got him, but did not get him.
The first time you fight him, you can't get him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he like does a one-shot kill if you get him into the second phase. This has got 2 phases.
Interesting.
And then it's like you've got to get a certain thing to unlock before you can go and fight him again and kill him.
Oh, you gotta take his health down and then it will recharge for the second phase?
Yes.
Okay. So I didn't even get through the first phase.
Yeah, so he's got like the like underlings that are around him, and you're in like that kind of narrow hallway. And once you get him down to 0 there, he takes you into like another arena and then immediately kills you the first time you fight him.
Nice.
But you need to do
Alright.
that because it unlocks like a ton of shit when
Sure.
you get him to the second phase. But yeah, there's an incantation at the cauldron that you're gonna have to do a little bit of grinding in the underworld to get the ability to unlock that incantation. But you should do it sooner rather than later. I can't remember the name of it, but it should, you sounding from where you're at in the game, you should have enough to probably have it unlocked.
To go up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so because I had to get some shadow thing, and I think I just made it. So
Yeah.
I was fucking around with it right before you got here.
Before that, you've got like if you go up there, you just take like persistent damage and you die very quickly when you're up there. But once you get the incantation, it allows you to just move around there freely. But you should go up there because that's going to allow you to unlock the final weapon, which is the coat, which is a jetpack, which is hilarious.
Nice.
And it's just it's fantastic. I personally like those runs better. Another thing to talk about with the Arcana is the final Arcana that you unlock is basically, it costs 0, and it allows you to basically start with 0 Arcana at the start of a run. And as you progress through the rooms, you get new Arcana, and it's randomized. But the plus side of that is you can have more total Arcana if you get through a run. They're kind of fucking cool. It's actually like it flips the entire dynamic of a run on its head, and it's really compelling and fun.
Seems like they've done a pretty special thing here where taking the formula of the first one and just building it out to where it was like, well, yeah, we did a lot of the work, and now the second one, they've built out all these systems, and this thing seems really deep. I'll say that a little bit of the novelty's worn off as far as the story. I think I enjoyed the story so far in the first one a little more.
I'm opposite.
It really,
yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to beat having Hades be the boss and having Hades be in the home base, and it's just kind of, there's a level of fondness I have of like having him kill you, and then respawning and going up to him and be like, ah, pussy, fuck you. Like, it's just funny. It's just like fucking funny. Like, I just fight you. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I'll say I like Maneloe, who is the new character, your Zagreus' sister. I like her a little bit more. And another thing that I think is heads and tails better is just dialogue and There's a lot of dialogue here.
Mm,
Where when you die, you're going to go back to the hub, and as you progress, there's going to be more and more kind of characters that you can interact with and talk to. And the dialogue's fantastic. The art is just, it's so fucking good, dude.
yep.
They everything. This game is beautiful. Are you playing on Switch?
Yeah.
Switch 2. It looks great on the Switch 2, runs well on the Switch 2. It's a fantastic little handheld game to play for sure. Um, but yeah, I think that there's just a little bit more nuance with the story in comparison to Zagreus's, where Zagreus was just like, I'm going to kill my dad.
Mm,
And that was kind of it. There's like a little bit more stakes just because there's two different paths and like two different things kind of happening
sure.
at the same time. And it's kind of funny when you do unlock the Olympus run or the Olympus path, because you're going to the top of Mount Olympus up top.
Mm,
Um, Kronos will like comment on it, because there are certain parts when you do an underworld run where Kronos shows up and
sure.
he'll kind of taunt you. But when you unlock both of them, he'll be like, "Well, you fucking are trying like too much all at once.
What
Like
do you?
you're above your fucking limit here, girl. Like, what are you doing?" So I really like Milanoe as a character. I think she's fantastic. She looks great. And yeah, I just really enjoyed kind of the story in this game. Not that I didn't like the first game, but I think this one's just got a little bit more to it. Where Zagreus was just like, I'm mad at my dad and I need to get out of here. He was just like kind of a petulant child a little bit.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, no, I think it is pretty much everything that you would look for in a sequel,
mm.
building upon things that they did right in the first one, maybe getting rid of some things that weren't as great.
I don't love the third area down below the fields where
Okay.
it's like what it feels like Diablo, like bigger. I like the arena, like go to the next level. The space is this big.
Yeah.
We're down. It's just huge. It
Yeah,
opens up, and
but
I don't.
the trees, have you been messing with the trees in that area?
Mm,
So go find the trees. The trees will basically tell you everything. You just find a tree and you activate it, and then that is completely mitigated what you just described, because everything is just like, here, go this way. You know what I mean?
it's still big though.
Yeah, it's big, but
It still flips the whole thing about this game is being in this borderline bullet hell in this confined area
Mhm.
where this is you're just like you're out in a park. What do
Yeah,
you?
it's just what I found frustrating about that area initially was just like, it's not massive to the point where you're
No,
like, I'm running around for 5 minutes, I don't know where to go. But there is like a level of like kind of trial and error. But if you find the tree just tells you where everything
sure.
is. And so you can just go from point to point and do it pretty quickly. So it doesn't bother me that much. There is an area in Olympus that's that way too, and you've got to get an unlock of, which is weird, where it's just bats in a cage.
Nice.
You have to go to the cauldron, you unlock it, and once you get the bats in the cage, then you go to the cage of bats, and they'll basically give you a top-down view of the entire area. And there's like a bunch of gates, and you can
Mm,
kind of pick and choose which gates, but it's a finite amount. You're basically opening this like portal or this shielded area, and there are way more gates than there are pylons that you have to like destroy. So you
mm,
kind of have to pick and choose where you want to go, and the bats like make it easier for you to fully see the entire thing and be like, oh, okay, I want to go here, 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 because that's gonna help my build, right?
mm.
um but yeah, dude, I think this thing's fucking fantastic. I really, really like it. I've had a lot of fun with it. The thing that's like kept me going is like the aspects. The biggest thing for me is just like, okay, I really like, what's your favorite weapon? You've got 5 of them locked, I assume.
I I think I'm not gonna know the name. The mage one, like essentially you shoot spells.
Is that the one, the torches?
Yes,
Where
yeah,
you
the
get the
torture.
where
Yeah,
you
yeah,
like
yeah. It's super funny. It's not
yeah.
really a mage. It's weird, but I like it
That's my favorite one too.
because you can just hold down the button and
Mhm.
she will attack and it will automatically charge as well. Where
Yeah,
the others are a little different, where you have to only commit to charging.
right.
So your special, you can just go all special and burn your mana as well. So I like that.
It's really satisfying. That's my favorite too, and the community is like torn on that one.
Hmm.
Like some people absolutely love it, and other people are like, I hate this one. It's the worst one.
Haven't played the axe yet, right? It's a big axe or something.
Yeah.
Because I literally just pick whichever one gets the bonus. Every run, it's like, hey, if you use this weapon, you get more. And I'm like, well, I'm in the business of more. So
Mhm.
whatever you tell me, yep.
That's a really cool thing too. Yeah, for sure.
It forces you to use other weapons, and then
Yeah.
presumably will speed you along, and then maybe force you to like a weapon that you didn't gravitate towards. Because that's usually what happens with these things. It's like, I don't want fucking that bullshit, and then you're like, oh, or do I?
The axe is really fucking good, but you've got to build into speed because it's very slow.
Hmm.
And so at its base, like it's got two slashes, and then she's got this big wind up where she kind of jumps in the air and charges it and then slams it down. And at its base, it's way too
You
slow.
got to,
And you'll just get wrecked. But if you can build into like a speed build where that shortens that time, that thing fucking wrecks. I mean, it does way more damage than anything in the game. I really like the torches. I really like the skull as well, which is like it's a ranged weapon as well, but you have a finite amount of skulls, so you shoot 4 skulls, and then they just populate on the map, and then you have to hit X to basically reload the skulls. Have you unlocked that one
No.
yet? That one's really cool. And there are ways as you go through the run, the hammer in particular, the hammer upgrade. There are a couple of them where it's like you just don't have to reload, or you get like 8 shells that you can use. And once you get to that point, really, really good. Actually, the most damaging weapon in the game, as far as what the community is saying, is that skull weapon that I don't remember the name of it, but the skull weapon I just described. One of the aspects, it's like super slow, and it basically creates this giant reticle on the ground, and then you basically shoot like mortars up in the air, and they land and
Nice.
explode. They do massive damage, but as you start building into that, like at its base, it's horrible, and I hate the way it feels. But there are things that you can build into where it's like so fucking fun, and you're just like decimating enemies. So there's just a lot of depth here,
Oh, it's a
man.
fun game. I just got a boon in the run that I'm in before you got here that for 7 seconds I have 100 armor, and then it goes away.
Mhm.
Which means like when you walk into a new room, you are just sprinting into the chaos. You're just like, fuck y'all.
Isn't that a Hephaestus boon?
I'm not sure,
I think
but
it's Hephaestus.
this is the first time I've gotten it, and it seems to be going somewhat well because it allows you just to be extraordinarily risky. I can go take 50 damage in the first 7 seconds. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the other crazy thing about it is like the further you get in, like you have not seen all the gods, and the further you get in, the more gods you get, and so that just opens up even more builds and more crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts.
Jesus shows up.
Not
Literally Jesus.
no, not Jesus. Apollo, or not Apollo, Ares, and a couple other ones. But Jesus would be cool. Santa Claus shows up
It'd
as
be really
well.
funny if there was a hidden boss and it was fucking Jesus in a pond.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, it's so fucking good. The game is fantastic. Those dudes, I want to see them do something new after doing 2 Hades, and like they just like they've had some weird ones over the years, but I think that like overall, dude, those guys fucking they know how to make video games. I'll say that.
Yeah, they I wonder if they'll do something new because that's risky.
Yeah, but they've proven themselves at this point. They've done it. You know what I mean? It's not like they're an unproven studio. Like they have made many new IPs. So I would be shocked if it's Hades 3. I think it's going to be something new, which I'm absolutely looking forward to.
And I mean, this will definitely set them up. This is doing really well, so they're financially they should be looking.
They're doing it the right way, you know.
Or early access for a year.
Well, yeah, and they're just small, and they're doing it the right way. They're just not. It just doesn't seem that they're really like polluted by a lot of the bullshit that we see in the industry.
That shit is wild. When I finish Silksong, the credits are like there's like 30 people. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, oh, this is a short credits.
It's the same for
It's like,
for Supergiant
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Like they're not a big studio by any means, but I think that plays into their hand and has definitely helped them, carve a path for themselves. So hopefully they don't get bought by Microsoft
Or the Saudis.
or the Saudis. I don't think that's in the cards with how progressive they are. It seems like that
with
would
the
be
fucking and the gods and the
no. I just think
the-
that if you know a little bit about the studio, it's full of pretty progressive people.
Yeah.
Craig Savin,
Sure.
and
they're probably not entertaining.
don't think that they are going to take Saudi money.
I don't know. A lot of comedians that I didn't think would take Saudi money just took Saudi money.
That's
so,
true.
You know,
Yeah, Bill Burr's getting fucking roasted, roasted,
he like
dude.
canceled his live podcast or something because he's kind of a tough one. If you just, it's just his stuff, like his whole deal and the following he's gotten.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a difficult one where you're like, oh,
well, because
are you aware of the people that gravitate towards you?
Yeah, he's like an arbiter in a lot of ways of like truth telling, and has done a great job of pushing back on a lot of these like other dipshit comedians that have just like sucked into the Rogan sphere or whatever you want to call it. And he's kind of been on his own. Seriously, dude, there's fucking a bunch of like Picassimist, teat suckers that have just like parlayed, sniffing fucking Rogan's farts to fame. And Burr has kind of been on his own island, but then he fucking made a big fuck up. Not good. Not good.
I think for him, it's a problem. I think he's got a lot of people that were large enthusiasts of his that are not stoked.
No,
but
you can't do it. You cannot. That is not gonna go over well.
If you are like Louis C.K. who likes to masturbate in front of women, you're probably going to be fine because the people that didn't care about about your shenanigans probably aren't going to care too much about the Saudi stuff either.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's in a bad way too. Maybe they're all getting roasted. But
I think comedy is in a bad place overall. I think that there are good
as opposed
ones.
to the rest of the things in the world, which are just like good, good, and then like get together comedy. Look at the rest of us. We're great.
Obviously, there are great comedians out there that are doing the right things and kind of pushing it back.
Just Josh Johnson. That dude's great.
But there is also a lot of fucking weirdo creeps that should probably go away.
Yeah. Generally. Absolutely. I think that's going to do it.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I think, 161. Gamescast 161.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening. If you want to follow us, come and join the Discord. Look in the bio or the show notes and wherever you are, YouTube or whatever podcast service you're using. That's going to do it. Take it easy, guys.